to DHS for another amazing guide. I am Amont, and today we are doing SARAVASH'S Ascent while I'm playing the new class, the Valkyrie. SARAVASH'S Ascent is the third dungeon that you are encountering in Tera. It's from players between the levels of 32 and 36. However, this is more of a filler dungeon between Celestial Manor and Cultist Refuge. CR begins at 35, and most people pretty much move right over to CR the moment it's available because it's a better dungeon. Now you may ask, why do I see it as a filler dungeon? Well, SA has no story quests for starters. Sure, it has some side quests, but it's not really the same. So don't bother really looking for any because they're not there. Next, anything about this dungeon is very simple and very plain. The mobs are all generic, the bosses are very simple, it's almost like fighting normal BAMs outside in the wild, and the total dungeon time took me about 15 minutes, by far the shortest for me so far. Overall, you may only run this dungeon once, maybe twice max, before you move on to seal. So with that, let's move right into it. Since everything in this is so simple, I'm going to pretty much just jump to each boss and give it a little info without drawing this out. Just grab everything as you go along and kill the mobs until you finally reach the first boss. Now the first boss is Alpakazal, Guardian of the Way. This encounter is very simple. He's a simple tank and spank. His first attack is just a normal attack, which he will swing the axe over his head and onto you for mid to heavy damage, shown as a red mark in front of him, easy to block and dodge. Next is his side swipe. He will swing his axe from side to side, dealing mid to heavy damage. The red marker again will show slightly bigger in front of him, so just dodge. Next is his knife throw. A red vertical line will appear as he throws his knife. This attack deals moderate damage with a chance of pushback, easy to deal. Next is his spin jump. A red circle will appear on the ground around him, all but a little pizza slice. You can dodge, block, or move into the pizza slice. Again, moderate to heavy damage. Then his final ability, he will summon mobs. He summons mobs if as he runs behind the gate or the little barricades, just down the ads while the tank hold Drago. 2 or 3 DPS should be able to down them pretty easy. They're pretty weak. After he dies, take your treasure and, well, move on. And the next boss is Samuel, SARAVASH'S defender. His abilities are nothing special, but we can move right into. He can move around a lot, so just watch out for that. But his first attack is just normal attack. He back swings for medium damage. A red marker appears, so block, dodge. It's simple. Next is his rush. You will see a nice long red vertical line appear. He will rush in this direction, then stomp the ground where he gets when he gets there. Mid to heavy damage. It's pretty slow, so it's not hard to dodge, but it will do knockdown, so be careful. Next is his ground pound. A circular red circle appears. He will begin smashing the ground for heavy damage. Just watch out for this. This does hurt a little bit. Next is his foot stomp. Another vertical line will appear. He will stomp the ground with his foot. This can cause knockback with some medium damage. After you beat them down, just move on. The monkey mobs in the next section won't attack you, so just mount up and run right past them to the next boss. And the next boss is Numberus. This guy can also move around a lot, but generically he's the same as the normal mob you meet in the wild. His moves include his lunge. He will leap at you and deal mid damage to heavy damage, blockable and dodgeable. His fire breath, which will do while shaking his head back and forth. This will deal mid to heavy damage and can debuff you. His jump, which he jumps straight up and lands, dealing heavy damage to all that are near him and can cause knockback or knockdown. And his last attack, you will see a red mark appear in front and behind him as he begins to shoot bomb-like explosions from the front. This deals heavy damage. When he finishes, he will slide back, so watch out DPS because it will hit you. Overall, not hard, just stay on your toes and you will be just fine. Now onto the final boss, SARAVASH herself. This Naga encounter can be interesting and possibly the only hard part of this entire dungeon. The boss has a lot of mobility and his attacks hit hard enough, so block and dodge need to be on the ready. Holding aggro can sometimes be difficult, but okay, let's get into his special abilities. Now SARAVASH has a lot of typical attacks of any Naga, such as cleaves and jumps and stomps, which is easy enough to dodge and block. Just pay attention to the red markers on the ground. Also DPS, when you are standing behind him, watch out for his tail swipe, it can hurt. However, along with these moves comes special ability. The first of which is his bombs. 3 circles will appear on the ground in front of him. Just don't stand in them. Anything inside of these circles will explode, dealing mid to heavy damage. This attack is kinda slow, so it's not that hard to get out of the way of. Next is his ground stab. You know this is coming when you see a large red area with 4 vertical lines spreading out in front of him. He is about to smash the ground with his weapon and cause a type of a shockwave. This deals heavy damage, again pretty slow and easy to dodge. And for his last major move to look out for is a clover-like red appearance on the ground around him. This causes either a shockwave that will deal mid damage and knock down, or he will summon lightning bolts to hit the ground, which can cause a debuff, and it hurts a lot, so try to avoid it. And that's generally it. This used to be a very difficult dungeon back when it was a level 58 dungeon, though back then it was much different, and like I said, it was one of the first more challenging dungeons in Tera. However, it is a poor imitation of its former self, so overall I hope this video helped you overcome this very generic filler of a dungeon, and please watch out for Cultic Refuge, which will be coming soon. And I am Amont from DHS, and if you enjoyed this video, please show us support by liking and subscribing to the channel, and even leaving a nice little comment below. I hope to see you all soon. Have a good night.